Today we're talking about one of the most amazing dog breeds out there. A dog that can be both your loyal companion and a powerful sled puller. These incredible animals capture hearts with their beauty and strength, and in many northern regions they're simply irreplaceable. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into 10 awesome facts about the Siberian Husky. Fact number 1. The history of the Husky. The Siberian Husky is one of the most ancient and unique sled dog breeds in the world. Their story begins in the harsh, frozen lands of the far north, where they were first bred by the Chukchi people of Siberia. For centuries, the Chukchi relied on these dogs for hunting, fishing, and transporting heavy loads across the Arctic tundra. They carefully selected only the toughest, fastest, and smartest dogs to work in their sled teams. These Huskies had to endure freezing temperatures down to minus 50 degrees Celsius, 58 degrees, pull heavy cargo, and cover miles of snowy wilderness, all while working closely with humans and other dogs. The first written mentions of Chukchi sled dogs appeared in the 17th and 18th centuries, when European explorers began documenting their amazing abilities. But the Husky as a recognized breed started taking shape in the 19th century, when these dogs were brought to Alaska. There, they became known as Siberian Huskies, thanks to American breeders who used them in sled races and Arctic expeditions. Unlike many modern breeds, Huskies weren't created through artificial breeding. They evolved naturally through centuries of survival and teamwork. Only the strongest, healthiest, most intelligent, and friendliest dogs were allowed to reproduce. That's why today's Huskies still carry those incredible genetic traits: endurance, resilience, and a deep sense of cooperation. Their global fame skyrocketed in the early 1900s after the 1995 Serum Run to Nome, when brave sled teams led by legendary dogs like Balto delivered life-saving medicine through brutal blizzards. From that moment on, Huskies became symbols of courage, strength, and loyalty. Fact number 2. Husky breed standards. An adult Husky usually weighs between 35 and 60 pounds and stands 20 to 24 inches tall. They're built for balance, strong but lightweight, fast but powerful. Their double coat is thick and weatherproof, a coarse outer layer to block moisture and wind, and a soft, dense undercoat to keep them warm in freezing temperatures. Huskies come in a wide range of colors: gray and white, black and white, red, copper, pure white, or even black-gray patterns. Their eyes are often icy blue but can also be brown or bicolored, which makes them so expressive and photogenic. Their heads are wedge-shaped, ears upright and triangular, and tails fluffy, often curled like a plume or crescent. Every part of their body is designed for survival, built to run long distances through snow, conserve energy, and stay warm in the coldest climates. And here's a fun fact. Huskies can express emotion with their eyes in such a human-like way that they've become social media stars and movie icons. Their metabolism and coat allow them to survive extreme cold, while their paws are protected by tough pads that keep out the ice and snow. If you love intelligent, beautiful, and loyal dogs, Huskies truly are something special. Stick around for the next facts, trust me, you'll be amazed. Fact number 3. The Husky Diet. Huskies aren't your average couch potatoes, they're born athletes. These dogs need a high-quality diet packed with protein and healthy fats, because that's what fuels their high-energy lifestyle. Their menu should include meat, beef, turkey, chicken, or fish, plus a little bit of organ meat, and healthy fat sources like salmon oil or egg yolk. Carbs like buckwheat, rice, or oats are fine in moderation, just to give them that extra boost of energy. But here's the thing. Huskies have an incredibly efficient metabolism, so overfeeding them is a big mistake. Extra weight kills their endurance and puts a ton of pressure on their joints. That's why they should eat strictly by schedule twice a day, with no random treats from the table. Their vitamin and mineral balance is super important too. Calcium and phosphorus keep their bones strong, omega-3 and omega-6 make their coat shine, and B vitamins help their nervous system and energy levels. And yes, sweets, smoked meats, and fatty leftovers are a total no-go. Those can mess up their digestion and even trigger allergies. Bottom line, Huskies are smart eaters. The better the food, the shinier the coat, the stronger the stride, and the brighter the spark in their icy blue eyes. Fact number 4. Socialization. Huskies are pack animals by nature. They've spent centuries living and working side by side with humans and other dogs across the frozen lands of Siberia and Alaska. Because of that, they absolutely need to understand their social world, who's a friend, who's the leader, and how to behave in a group. Socialization should start early, around 2 to 3 months old. Expose your puppy to as many things as possible: different people, kids, other dogs, city sounds, cars, elevators, markets, even vacuum cleaners. Everything your dog might encounter in life should feel familiar and safe. The more positive experiences a husky gets early on, the more confident and calm they'll be as an adult. Huskies aren't naturally aggressive, but without socialization, they can become stubborn, wary, or even fearful. And a fearful husky is a potential escape artist. Stress or confusion often trigger their instinct to run. Remember, huskies respect leadership, but they don't tolerate domination. Their owner needs to be calm, confident, and consistent, the kind of leader they want to follow, not fear. Pay special attention to how they interact with other dogs. Huskies are social and love to play, but sometimes they try to dominate. That's why dog parks, group walks, obedience training, and canine events are perfect ways to build control, friendliness, and patience. A well-socialized husky is a dream dog, calm around loud noises, polite on the leash, friendly with people and animals, and confident wherever they go. They feel secure because they know one simple truth: they have their pack, their person, and their world, and that's all they need. Fact number 5. The intelligence and training of huskies. Huskies are the kind of dogs that say, "I understand you perfectly. I just don't feel like it." Their intelligence isn't mechanical like a German Shepherd's. It's creative and analytical. They remember commands easily, but they'll only follow them if they see a point. That's why training a husky isn't a commander-soldier situation. It's a leader-partner relationship. For centuries, huskies survived in the brutal north, where dogs had to make their own decisions. Choose a safe path, judge the ice, even recognize when their human was wrong. That independence runs deep. A husky doesn't just obey. He evaluates your order first. And if he decides it's nonsense, he'll calmly forget it and stare at you like, "What command?" Huskies are brilliant, but they demand patience and respect. You can't force them. Pressure only makes them stubborn. Instead, use positive reinforcement: praise, play, or treats. That's what truly works, because huskies are playful adventurers who crave fun, not punishment. They learn basic commands like sit, down, and heel pretty fast, but to keep them consistent, you've got to mix things up. If every session feels the same, your husky will decide you're boring and start doing his own projects. Here's a cool fact. Huskies can remember dozens of commands and associate them with gestures, tone, even emotions. They read your facial expressions and react to your mood. So if you're annoyed, your husky will mirror that frustration and stop listening altogether. Because of their quick thinking, huskies often shine in dog sports like canicross, bike joring, ski joring, and sled racing. Anywhere you need speed, teamwork, and strategy, huskies absolutely thrive. But that same intelligence cuts both ways. Without enough mental and physical stimulation, they turn into escape artists and demolition experts, opening doors, digging tunnels, or slipping out of collars like little magicians. A husky teaches you not just to train a dog, but to think with your dog. When that bond of understanding forms, your husky doesn't follow commands out of fear, but out of respect. And that's what makes him a true partner, not just a pet. Fact number 6. Huskies in the family. A husky isn't just a dog. It's a four-legged hurricane that turns your home into a mix of gym, comedy show, and chaos. They're perfect for active families who love adventures, long walks, and a bit of beautiful mess. This breed was made for movement, communication, and being part of every family moment. From mountain hikes to post-run cuddles on the couch, with the whole pack, of course. One of the most special things about huskies is their amazing friendliness. Aggression just isn't in their DNA. They're not guard dogs. They're more like fluffy diplomats, ready to befriend anyone interesting enough to play with. With kids, Huskies act like patient older siblings. They love excitement, laughter, and playtime chaos. They'll pull a sled, bring toys, and even guard a sleeping child. But their energy can be too much sometimes, especially when they're puppies, so always supervise. Not out of fear, but because of their clumsy love. Huskies are extremely social. They hate being alone. Isolation makes them sad and destructive. A lonely husky can turn into a creative interior designer, digging up carpets, raiding the fridge, or taking out the trash himself. The cure? Lots of attention, games, walks, and ideally a second dog for company. Here's a fascinating bit of history. In Chukchi villages where the breed was born, Huskies actually lived inside the homes with people and children. They slept beside them, keeping the family warm through the Arctic night. That's why even today, Huskies have a natural gentleness toward kids built into their genes. They're also deeply sensitive to human emotions. When your home is full of laughter and calm, your husky is relaxed and happy, but if there's conflict, they might hide, howl, or even try to mediate by drawing attention to themselves. And yes, Huskies are talkers. They don't bark like normal dogs. They sing, mumble, grumble, and make all kinds of hilarious sounds like they're trying to hold a conversation. Owners often joke that a husky isn't a pet. It's a roommate with opinions and a great sense of humor. In a family, huskies become true members of the pack. They need love, movement, and inclusion in your daily life. Give them that, and they'll reward you with endless loyalty, laughter, and that special warmth you can only get from a northern heart in a fluffy coat. Fact number 7, husky care and maintenance. Taking care of a husky isn't just a routine, it's a full-on ritual worthy of Arctic legends. These northern beauties come with a double coat, a thick undercoat and longer guard hairs that form their natural winter armor, keeping them warm even in temperatures as low as 50 degrees CDC, that's 58 degrees. That's why huskies always look stunning even in the cold, like they just walked off a runway at the Snow Fashion Week. But as you might guess, that beauty takes some work. When huskies shed, it's not just shedding, it's a seasonal fur explosion. It happens twice a year, in spring and fall, and your house basically turns into a snow globe. Owners like to joke, if you have a husky, your vacuum cleaner becomes part of the family. To keep things under control, brushing is key, 2 to 3 times a week normally, and every day during shedding season. A metal comb or a furminator is your best friend. It removes the undercoat without damaging the top layer of fur. As for bathing, less is more. Husky fur is naturally self-cleaning. Dirt literally falls off once the coat dries. So, bathing once every 2 or 3 months, or only when they get really dirty, is more than enough. Too many baths strip the coat's natural oils and can cause dry skin. Now, let's talk about lifestyle. Huskies aren't couch dogs. They're born athletes. They need at least 2 hours of active exercise every single day. They love space, movement, and exploration. Ideally, they thrive in a house with a fenced yard. But if you live in an apartment, you'd better be ready for daily marathons. Otherwise, your husky will find their own fun. And trust me, wallpaper, shoes, and your couch will all become part of the art project. One very important thing, huskies are escape artists. They can climb a 6-foot fence, dig under concrete, or somehow open a locked door. So, make sure your yard is really secure. Another thing to watch out for might heat. Because of their thick coats, huskies don't handle high temperatures well. They're happiest below 60 degrees Celsius, around 15 degrees. So, in summer, always walk them early in the morning or late in the evening to avoid overheating. Here's a fun fact. Huskies are surprisingly clean dogs. They rarely have that dog smell, and often groom themselves just like cats do. They're also incredibly cold resistant. Some sled dogs even sleep directly on the snow, curling up and covering their noses with their tails like built-in sleeping bags. So yeah, taking care of a husky takes time and effort, but it's 100% worth it. With the right grooming, activity, and attention, your husky won't just be beautiful. They'll be healthy, happy, and glowing with that unique sparkle of the northern lights, just like where they come from. Fact number 8, the global popularity of the husky. The popularity of the Siberian Husky is nothing short of a global phenomenon. These northern legends have conquered hearts from Alaska to Japan, becoming symbols of freedom, strength, and that charming stubbornness we all secretly love. Even people who've never owned a dog recognize them instantly. Those piercing blue eyes, that iconic facial mask, and the famous husky smile have become true pop culture icons across the internet. But their rise to fame didn't start on Instagram. It began long before social media even existed. Back in the early 1900s, Huskies became legends in sled dog racing, especially after the famous Serum Run of 1925, when a team of Siberian Huskies led by Leonhard Sipala delivered life-saving medicine to the snowbound town of Nome, Alaska. Their lead dog, Balto, became a national hero, and his bronze statue still stands proudly in New York's Central Park today. That heroic moment cemented the Huskies' image as more than just a beautiful dog. They were brave, loyal, and unstoppable. As time went on, Hollywood fell in love with them too. Huskies appeared in movies like 8 Below, Snow Dogs, and Balto, where they embodied kindness, endurance, and adventure. Thanks to these films, Huskies became cinematic symbols of loyalty, courage, and the wild beauty of the North. Fast forward to the 21st century, and Huskies have officially taken over the internet. On TikTok and Instagram, millions of users adore their expressive faces, their hilarious talking howls, and of course those mesmerizing heterochromic eyes. One blue, one amber, or brown, that make them look almost magical. Here's a fun fact. According to social media analytics, Huskies are the most photographed dog breed in the world, and their pictures get about 40% more likes than photos of other dogs. Maybe it's the charisma. Maybe it's that confident smirk that says, "Yeah, I know I'm gorgeous." In Russia and across Eastern Europe, Huskies have become especially popular among outdoor enthusiasts, athletes, travelers, and content creators. There are even Husky parks where visitors can ride sleds, play, and take pictures with these amazing dogs. But with all this fame comes responsibility. Huskies aren't just Insta dogs. They need exercise, mental stimulation, and real companionship. People who get one just for the photos often find out fast that a Husky's Arctic spirit isn't for everyone. They're intelligent, independent, and full of unstoppable energy. Still, their popularity keeps growing. The Husky remains a living symbol of adventure, loyalty, and raw northern beauty. From polar expeditions to viral TikToks, they remind us of one simple truth. Real strength can be fluffy, and true loyalty can have the bluest eyes you've ever seen. Fact number 9. The energy and need for movement. Huskies are basically four-legged engines. Their energy seems endless even after an hour-long run. They're like, "All right, what's next?" This isn't just an active dog, it's a born athlete, built for motion and adventure. Historically, Huskies were bred by the Chukchi people as sled dogs, made to run 150 kilometers a day across ice and snow, pulling loads and people through brutal Arctic terrain. That instinct is still in their DNA. Even a modern, home-living Husky only feels truly happy when it's working, running, and exploring. They need daily intense exercise running, canicross, bike joring, hiking, or at least long walks in open spaces. Without it, a Husky will find its own activities, chewing furniture, digging up the floor, escaping the yard, or redecorating your living room with style. It's not bad behavior, it's just that this dog has way too much energy to burn. And speaking of escapes, Huskies are true escape artists. They can jump a 6-foot fence, squeeze under a gate, or even figure out how to open a latch if freedom is on the other side. That's why they need not only physical exercise, but also mental challenges. Obedience training, puzzle games, scent work, or anything that keeps their sharp mind busy. Fun fact, a Husky's heart rate can reach up to 250 beats per minute while running, yet they maintain steady breathing and can go for miles without showing signs of exhaustion. That's why they're often called the marathoners of the dog world. If a Husky doesn't run, it gets bored. And a bored husky? That's a hurricane on pause. So the secret to a happy husky is simple. The more they move, the less they destroy. Fact, Smucker 10, the pack spirit of the husky. The husky's pack instinct isn't just a personality trait. It's the result of thousands of years of survival side by side with humans and other dogs in the harsh Arctic. These dogs descend from ancient sled teams where teamwork wasn't optional. It was life or death. Every husky had a role. The leader set the direction, and the rest followed in perfect rhythm. That's why huskies crave company. They feel most at peace when they're surrounded by their pack, whether that's other dogs or their human family. Huskies don't handle loneliness well. Leave one alone too long and you might come home to howling, chewed up furniture, or a masterclass in escape tactics. It's not bad behavior, it's instinct. A husky needs connection. It's wired to belong. With the right socialization, they become incredibly friendly, loyal, and respectful toward their alpha, their human leader. Here's a fun fact. During Arctic expeditions, huskies would sleep pressed tightly together to stay warm. Even today, they often curl up beside their owners or other pets. That ancient pack instinct is still alive and strong. A husky isn't just a dog, it's a piece of the wild north that somehow found its way into our homes. They're the embodiment of freedom, energy, and loyalty to their pack. They don't have malice, but they do have spirit. They're not submissive, but they are deeply respectful. You can't own a husky, you can only partner with one. These dogs are made for movement, adventure, and the open air. If you don't give them an outlet for their boundless energy, they'll make one themselves by redesigning your couch, unlocking the gate, and starting their own little expedition around the neighborhood. But if you channel that energy into running, hiking, or play, you'll have the ultimate adventure buddy by your side. The husky doesn't need words to share joy, it does it through a glance, a sprint, a spark of freedom. Inside, every husky lives the ancient spirit of the Arctic, but its heart burns warm like a campfire in the tundra. Maybe that's why millions of people around the world have fallen in love with them, because huskies remind us that true beauty is always a little wild.